On March 28, 2023, there was a shooting at the Covenant School in Nashville. This was an obvious tragedy. For those of you who are new to my channel, I decode news events like this to show you the hidden esoteric meaning underneath. All of these tragedies are coded messages about your awakening. This video is not for everyone, so if you are not aware that this world is an illusion and all the world is literally a stage, this may be hard for you to take. If you're triggered by anything I have already said, you may not want to watch this video. So why do they put these events out there? Why do they make such a big deal out of these news events if they are tragedies? They do this to get your attention. For the most part, the news covers bad things, tragedies. They make a big deal out of some more than others, focusing on every detail. They often won't let it go for decades. And every year there's an anniversary memorial lest we forget this horrific thing that happened. This is so that it stays in your conscious mind. On one level, they want you to pay close attention, to notice that there are holes in the story, to notice that something is off, so that you try to figure out why. Most people don't see how it relates to their daily life because they have bills to pay, so it isn't of interest to them to look even if they did sense that something was off. If you take the time to look closely, the entire story falls apart. Now, there are many layers to uncovering the hidden meaning behind these events. The first level would be that you would see the hidden agenda that's coming from these events, such as gun control, the trans agenda, getting children out of schools, perhaps all of them blended into one. Or simply they want to keep us in fear, they want to program us with lies, they want to keep us dividing and fighting each other. All of these are true, but this is only the surface layer. So why is it important that you understand the codes in these events? You need to know because not only does being able to read the codes help you to know the truth about who you are and why you are here, it helps guide you in what you must do in order to ascend. It can also unlock doors of perception within you that help you rise to a higher state of consciousness by triggering memories of home within you. These events are not what you think they are, and the message underneath is hidden in everything. There is only one story, and it's the story of our awakening to Christ consciousness. Why does it matter that we rise into Christ consciousness? Because it's the entire reason why we are here, and it's the only way for us to exit out of this fake world. All is mind, so everything is created from the mind. If you don't like what you see in the world, the only way to change it is in your mind. In this video by Sat Yoga Institute, Shunya Murti talks about the greatest story ever told is now underway. I only talk about the greatest story ever told because there is only one story ever told, and we are living it. This is IXXI, Rising into Christ Consciousness. He talks about the 5 different levels in which you can extract information from religious texts. These levels are not limited to the sacred texts, however. You can extract this information from anything around you. Your own life, sporting events, movies, television shows, songs, everything. Everything is embedded with the code of the truth because everything stems from the zodiac, and the zodiac tells the one story which we are all living.
Hasidim say there's a 5th level, which is the sod of the sod, the core of the secret, the actual a mystery that even the sages don't understand until a certain moment happens when, like a time capsule, an understanding of the meaning will suddenly break open, and those who have reached that deepest level will find yet another, even deeper level of meaning that will be so powerful that it will be transformative just to get it.
So he describes 5 different levels. I only wanted to present to you the 5th level because this emphasizes the significance and importance in understanding the messages that are embedded in these events and movies, songs, stories, fables, fairy tales, myths. They're all telling the same story. When you are able to decode these messages, if you can get to the 5th level, Simply understanding what it is you are seeing will transform you. It will aid you in your ascension process. I have been through this several times now as a result of decoding the messages that I see through these movies and events and TV shows. It's not enough that you know the superficial coding. It's not enough that you recognize that they are tragedies. It's not enough that you are able to see through the illusion. You need to transform. This is the purpose they are serving you. These events, these tragedies are not here to scare you. They're not here to keep you in fear. They are here to transform your consciousness. But they can only do so if you are able to see past the illusion to the deeper meaning. And that is what I am showing you in my videos. After having broken down events like this for 6 years now, I can tell you that every single one of these events encodes the story of raising the Kundalini life force within, becoming Christed, anointed, kinged, and rising into Christ consciousness. Christ consciousness is CC 33. This is why you see 33 everywhere. These tragedies happen on the world stage automatically because they are part of the movie we are in called IXXI, or 9/11 Emerge and See.
Well, Nicole, that's right. This memorial just keeps on growing as throughout the morning we've seen students that go to school just down the street. We've also seen Mayor John Cooper as well as people from all walks of life. And you can see out here right now just plenty of folks paying their respects. Now, I want to continue to...
These are the gates to the entrance of the Covenant School, and the address is 33. In order to decode this, you must know about Kundalini energy. There are 33 vertebrae of the spine, and Kundalini energy rises up the spine. If you've been living clean, then the energy will reach the top of the spine and connect with the energy from above. If not, the energy will be stopped at the top of the spine. This is what this image represents. Your energy cannot pass because the road is closed. The covenant is the rainbow. God's promise not to flood the earth is the rainbow, which are the 7 colors representing the 7 chakras or energy centers within you. You must first heal the chakras for the energy to rise. The gates mark the 88 gate or the Lion's Gate, the entrance to the kingdom of heaven where you will be judged by Pontius Pilate. If you are not ready, you will not pass. That is why the road is closed. This building is at Green Hills. Green symbolizes the heart chakra. Hills refer to the Taurus, the bull, the Bible, the double Taurus field of our electromagnetic world. We have to return to heart consciousness. Government means go green mind, as opposed to mind control. Either you control your mind, or the government will control it for you.
Talk about and remember those 6 victims whose lives were cut short instantly. The first, Hallie Scruggs. She was one of 3 children shot and killed. Scruggs was a 3rd grader at Covenant School. The 9-year-old was the daughter of Covenant Presbyterian Church's pastor. Her father, Chad, released a statement saying, "We are heartbroken. She was such a gift. Through tears, we trust that she's in the arms of Jesus, who will raise her to life once again."
If you pay attention to the names of the victims, they are all coded. Sometimes it's as simple as being made up. Most of the time, they are coded with underlying truth about Kundalini, and sometimes both.
Evelyn Deekhouse, a 9-year-old student at Covenant School, her family describes her as a shining light. They issued the following statement saying in part, "Our hearts are completely broken. We cannot believe this has happened. We appreciate all the love and support, but ask for space as we grieve."
Evelyn Deekhouse was described as a shining light. First, her name is Deekhouse. It's clearly a Dick reference, but Deekhouse is the lighthouse. Your light is in the house, which is why they refer to her as a shining light. Very often, these events will include lines like this or names that mean shining one or bright, because you must rediscover your inner light, the divine feminine within.
William Kinney, a 9-year-old boy, was also one of those victims. Dr. Catherine Kuntz was the head of the Covenant School. Metro Police say she was shot and killed after being confronted by the shooter in one of the school hallways. Kuntz is being remembered as someone who loved God and loved people. She was 60 years old.
Catherine Kuntz is another euphemism for cunts. She was the head of the covenant school. The head is the cunt because everything that is in the groin is in the head. The omega, the beginning and the end. The Bible begins with "in the beginning" because it's a reference to a place. This place is the head because everything is created in the mind. It is all an illusion.
Cynthia Peak was a substitute teacher at Covenant School, originally from Louisiana. Peak was a mother of 3 children, a daughter and 2 sons. News 2 spoke with a friend of Peak's who says she was someone that you could count on in a crisis. The last victim, 61-year-old Mike Hill, police said he was shot through a door. Hill, a custodian at Covenant School, was a father of 7 children and 14 grandchildren.
Mike Hill, or Mike Hill, shot through a door. He was a janitor, father of 7. 7 children is a reference to the 7 main gods or the 7 chakras. Janitor is rooted in the name Janus, which is the door, the two-faced god. This is why he was shot through a door.
One of the victims we mentioned, the leader of the Covenant School, Dr. Catherine Kuntz, and you spoke with someone who was a former student who just talked so highly about her and the love she had for her students.
Rory, she literally dedicated her life to making sure her students succeeded. It's something that will be imprinted in their hearts forever.
If you're looking to decode when you watch these news stories, listen for words and phrases that are emphasized by the news reporters. Some of them will stand out like a shining beacon. In this instance, the word succeed stands out. So then you look up the meaning or the etymology of the word and how it relates to ascension or kundalini or Christ consciousness. In this case, succeed means go from under, mount up, or ascend. This story is about ascension. They want their students to ascend.
Down here we have 2nd grade and learning services.
At the Covenant School.
Another thing to pay attention to is their surroundings because they are not there by coincidence. To the right of the screen next to the teacher is a butterfly. Butterfly represents transformation. You are transformed when you go through the alchemical process. And the butterfly represents the fornix. The fornix is the place where you transform.
News Channel 5 talked to Headmaster Catherine Kuntz for stories in the past.
At the end of the day, what we want more than anything is for families and children to be connected.
Pay attention to the comments these people make in these interviews and see if there's anything hidden in the subtext. In this instance, the teacher says, at the end of the day, we want our students and families to be connected. So connection has to do with bringing together as one, connecting to the other side, heaven and earth.
No matter the topic, she was willing to give an educator's perspective.
Our motto is to be known, to be loved, to be prepared.
So her motto is to be known, to be loved, to be prepared. This has to do with ascension, because everything here is about ascension. To be known is gnosis. To be loved is the alchemical process of marrying the opposites and knowing all is love. And to be prepared means to have done the work to be prepared for ascension. And she's standing in front of children's drawings depicting 2 faces in one. This is, again, the trans, or 2 in 1, merging the opposites. The alchemical process of merging duality into unity.
Because we feel like those go together.
Before she was at Covenant, Catherine worked at Christ Presbyterian Academy.
High school, there was a lot of times where I felt like giving up, and so she would fight for us.
Look up the meaning of the names of the people they interview. Barrett means warrior, and severance means to separate or divorce or to cut off from. To sever your connection with God. He was saying that he was struggling and she fought for him. So put it into context with the rest of the story and see what you come up with.
She would fight for us.
Former CPA student Barrett Severance tells me she would tutor students who were falling behind.
She was very much a champion for her students. She fought for all of them, oftentimes after we quit fighting for ourselves.
The shooter, who the police identified as Audrey E. Hale, saying that the individual identifies as transgender, entered the building by firing through a side door. There you see it.
The suspect shot the glass door, and it was a side door. This is breaking the glass barrier, shattering the illusion of reality, entering the side door or the right hemisphere of the brain.
Take a look at the upper window there. Okay, so the shooter went to the second floor, firing shots before being killed by police. The police chief, John Drake, said that the assailant was, quote, at one point a student at the school there. There you can see the broken, shattered glass in that second story window as well.
Here the reporter draws your attention to the upper room where there is another hole in the wall or a hole in the glass. And he even uses the phrase shattered glass. This is deliberate. This school resides at the top of a hill with a spiraling road around the outside. It's not a big hill, but it is a hill. This represents Mount Meru, the mountain, the headquarters. This is the top of the spine. This is where you come face to face with God.
There was so many police cars, and then the ambulances started coming away from the school.
Here we have a witness in front of a chain link fence, which is a common occurrence in these tragedies. The chain link fence represents the XX of the IXXI, the fabric of our reality. It is refracted and reflected light, all projected from the eye.
And that's when I had heard there was a school shooting.
It was just after 10 a.m. when police got an active shooter call at the Covenant School, a 200-student private Christian school for kids in pre-K to grade 6.
Officers entered the first story of the school, began clearing it. They heard shots coming from the second level. They immediately went to the gunfire.
This gentleman says that the police cleared the first floor, but that's not what we see on the body cam footage. We see an empty school.
Some kids ran immediately. Others hunkered down with their teachers.
She said she was...
Here we have another witness, the daughter of one of the teachers, and here she is smiling.
Hiding in the closet, and that there was shooting all over, and that they had potentially tried to get into her room.
It sounds as if she's talking about the police trying to get into her room because she says they. However, we don't see that on the body cam footage. So either there's more police with unreleased footage, or this is a total contradiction.
Within 14 minutes of that first call, police found, shot, and killed the suspect, who was armed with 2 assault-style weapons and a handgun.
So they're saying that within 13 minutes of the first call, which was at 10:13, they shot the suspect.
The wounded were rushed to hospital, though none survived. The head of the school, 60-year-old Catherine Kuntz, is among the victims, along with 3 of her 9-year-old students. Police say the shooting was targeted.
They say that this event was targeted, whereas before, the previous events I have done all said that they were not targeted, so this is different.
And planned. The suspect had maps of the building.
We have identified the active shooter as Audrey Elizabeth Hale.
Police say Hale, identified as transgender, was a former student at the school and resented having to go there.
We have a manifesto, we have some writings that we're going over that pertain to this date.
The suspect's name was Audrey Hale, and the news referred to her as a her, and yet she identified as a he, as a trans man. She resented having gone to this school, and yet she was 28, and this is an elementary school, so it's been quite some time. 28 is 2 8s, the 88 gate, the Lion's Gate. Audrey means noble or strength, which is the same as Alice. Alice in Wonderland, Alice from Don't Worry Darling. I've been doing a decode on my main channel about Don't Worry Darling. You may want to watch that. Hale means healthy, sound, whole, clear, or clarity. So she's noble with clarity, and she's trans, which means 2 and 1. So she's merged the opposites. She's past the 88 gate because she's 2 8s, she's 28. She went up the spine, the winding serpent stairs, up to the top, the head, shot her way in through the side door, the right hemisphere of the brain, and they found her on the second floor next to the window, also with a hole in the wall. She shot through the glass. And in that room was a circle with a hole to the lower floor, representing the black hole. The black hole represents the father, the fornix. This is the bullseye. That's why they said the event was targeted, because she reached the target. And she was chased by the police to the top of the hill, to the second floor, because the police, the red and the blue, represent the Ida and Pingala. Now I'm going to include some still images from the body cam footage. So I didn't want to include the actual footage. If you'd like to see the actual footage, there's a link in the description box. There are quite a few little details I would like to point out that they emphasize with this footage. First thing to notice are the timestamps. The shooter arrived at 9:54. She shot the glass at 10:11. The alarm was called at 10:13. The phone call was placed at 10:13. Then she was seen in the central hallway at 10:21. And this is the point at which the police allegedly arrived and shoot her within 4 minutes. So at which point did they manage to get all of the students out? I don't know. And the shooter was shot at 10:26. I'm now going to point out a few symbols that were placed around the school, and the camera brought your attention to them as they went through the school. First of all, the police officers need a key to enter the door, whereas Audrey shot her way through the glass. Why didn't they have the door open for them already by the time the police got there? Why is the man standing by the door, waiting, and handing the police officer the key, wasting valuable time? I'd like to point out that the majority of these police officers are in plain clothes and not wearing protective body armor. Why would they enter into a live active shooter situation without body armor, wearing plain clothes, and only a bulletproof vest? This doesn't make any sense. When the police arrived, they charged through the school, potentially terrifying young children. Reports state 6 people died, and yet no blood or bodies or sign of chaos in the school anywhere. At no point throughout their search do they come across a single person. In this empty classroom with the chairs neatly pushed under the tables, there's a rainbow at the far end of the room on the wall. The rainbow signifying the 7 colors of the chakra system, the Ark of the Covenant, and the LGBTQ. Here we have another empty classroom with the chairs neatly pushed under the tables, and an empty hallway. No sign of children, no sign of blood, no sign of chaos. On the wall is another rainbow with a pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. The pot of gold references the AU, the authenticity, the gold within the fornix that you find at the end of the rainbow. Here we have a sign that says Knights, which is probably their mascot, and Knights represents the Milky Way, the protector of the divine feminine. At this point, the officer pans around to catch the sign on the bathroom door that indicates it's a unisex bathroom. This is not by any coincidence, because this is a movie. Now the police officers arrive on the second floor where the shooter is still shooting and has shot a hole through the glass that they pointed out earlier on the second floor. On the left is an open circle to the lower floor. This is what I was referring to as the fornix. And the shooter is shot by the window without any hesitation or warning. They did call out that they were the police, but they did not give the shooter any chance to stop firing or put down their weapon. They shot the shooter and then approached the shooter to make sure that this person was dead. Also, this angle from the other body cam shows the police officer holding the gun inappropriately. And there are many people who are pointing out the inconsistency of footwear, but I would say that this is a red herring. It is used to distract and confuse people because it's such a triviality that most people are focused on the shoes rather than be focused on the other inconsistencies that are glaringly obvious in this tragedy. I hope this video has helped you decode events at a deeper level. If you'd like more information, please see my other videos and visit my main channel, TrueLove. If you like this video, please show your support for my channel. Like, share, subscribe, comment, contribute. Contributions over $15 will receive a link to the Johnny Depp Dark Shadows material, so please be sure to include your email address. Kindly visit my website, subscribe to my backup channels, join the Discord group. All links are in the description box below. Thanks for listening. Hope you're having a great day. Bye for now.